I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Yahawah being the true name of the Heavenly Father. YAHAWASHI being the true name of His only begotten Son. Also want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the bishops, Salakia, as well as unto the elect of Yasha'Allah, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you Akim out there enduring His truth across the four corners of the earth, teaching and prophesying through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and those that may follow, looking forward to the second coming of the Lord and the restoration of the nation of Israel, or the Israelites, the biblical Israelites. And just getting into a quick lesson, just going in the spirit. I was sitting here, trying to get a lesson together, which you can see all of the tabs. And through the spirit, man, I was like, because I was reading up on this article right here. With this article, pretty much, you have it to where, certain, I hate when they be having all that extra shit in a way. Like, show me the X button so I can get out of here. But for the most part, you got over in the UK where they're, thinking about closing down some of their greenhouses. All right, because of the war is spiking up the oil prices, and they pretty much need the oil to have fuel to keep their boilers going, to keep their, their glass houses humid enough in order to produce the right temperature and CO2 and clean CO2 emissions to get their I believe it was CO2. I plan on doing a lesson over it, but nonetheless, they need their boilers going to have it humid in there so they can produce their crops. And they're pretty much saying it's becoming too expensive. So I came here to the Bible topics to look up, precepts and Bible verses for, the famine. And then through the spirit, I ended up coming to the bottom, and I'm reading the popular topics for Bible verses. And I'm reading and I'm seeing God, love, faith, marriage, healing, peace, prayer, the typical. Now, I'm not saying it's it ain't useful, all right, it ain't needful, but I'm just thinking from the standpoints of a Christian, it's just the whole love doctrine in a sense. And as long as I do this, then I'll be okay to, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got the 10 Commandments in there, the wives, the husband, heaven, fear, divorce, things of that nature. But I was like, well, damn, it's lacking salvation. You know what I'm saying? That's not one of the top topics. And then upon looking for that, what was the next one? Oh, I went into prophecy, and then prophecy only showed a few. So I clicked on prophesying. It showed a little bit more. And what's the third tab? Oh, yeah. So then that led me to thinking about the end of the world, which was an article I had brought up last night. But just look, it's like prophecy is very important, because prophecy meaning what? Pro meaning to before, and beside meaning to say. All right, when you go into the etymology of the word. Now, here, I'll get it real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 39, verse 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind, let's go to the previous chapter to see if it leads up into that. All these trusts in your hands. Yeah, because it's speaking about the smith, carpenter. We just going in the spirit. So we'll just start here, man. We'll start here. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. right? And he that hath little business shall become wise, because you're going to have more time to apply yourself to YAHAWASHI YAHWASHI. You won't have any distractions, you know. Call all YAHAWASHI YAHWASHI. I actually got to finish the elder brother Itazo while I'm up in Wisconsin video, as he had quoted that precept. If I'm quoting it right, what, 10 upon the Lord without distractions. I'll get it real quick. Yep, spelled like that too. Man, come on, man. Let me see. It says 1 Corinthians 7:35. It says, "In this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction." And I believe this might have been going into like the marriage and things of that nature. Woman, yep, virgin, getting a husband and things of that nature. Because when you have a family and you have these things of the world, you're going to be entangled with that. That's why it says no man entangled himself with the affairs of this world. Now, you're going to have your family, you're going to have your woman, you might have your little ones, but don't get too tied up into it. That's the thing. It's not to get too tied up into it, because it's like, oh, I got to do all of this. And it's like, nah, we can't save anybody. We can't save ourselves. We're looking for YAHAWASHI YAHWASHI to save us and deliver us out of the troubles and calamities that's coming upon this earth. So we do what we're supposed to do, all right, to reassure that and hope that it's according to his will. Okay. So, intending upon the Lord without distractions, because we at war. We battling. We're seeking salvation. All right. What did it say? Man, it's just so many precepts going through my head. Call YAHAWASHI YAHWASHI. I believe it's Philippians 2. I always get it mixed up. 2 and 12. Yeah. It's Philippians 2 and 12. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." And that's what we are doing through the Spirit. We're working out our salvation. All right. That's why we doing lessons, and we do our fasting, and we sending up our prayers, and we being brotherly and showing charity and hitting the highways and so on and so forth, because we're working out our salvation. All right. So doing that without distractions is because I was sitting here thinking, it's crazy because the Lord actually gave me a dream last night, because I wanted to do a lesson last night, and I ended up getting a phone call, and then after that phone call, I got distracted really, Then I ended up falling asleep before I did my lesson, and then I had a dream, and then the person who called me in that dream, call all YAHAWASHI YAHWASHI. You gotta, the Lord to show you, man. You gotta just trust in the Spirit, because it was actually something else that was heavy on my mind right before, and I was like, man, I'm about to read just to calm my spirit and stuff. And then I pretty much end up getting distracted. Then I had a dream. And in that dream, man, it was a beautiful dream, but it was telling. It told me pretty much what I needed to hear. And then waking up, and then a brother doing this video, so the Lord was reassuring things and confirming some of my thoughts, man, because he directed my steps in a way, because I'm like, do I go left? Do I go right? So the Lord was kind of showing me. And in that dream, the person that called me and distracted me, they also, was a distraction in that dream as well. And it just kind of, so when I woke up, I'm kind of like thinking about it. And that's what's kind of been on my mind lately. And then a brother come out with the lesson. So let's see what it says. It says, without distraction, without solicitude or anxiety or care. Let's see if this It says care or concern for someone or something else. Yeah, and it's not that we don't care about others or care about other things. It's just the fact that YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI has to come first. You know what I'm saying? Before the woman, before the parents, before the kids, before the friends, before the job. I'm not saying it. Um, if you've been at your job for however long, that's how you got your money coming in and everything, and you know, it's like I'm about to quit because I'm in the truth. It's like, nah, putting that job before the truth is like every day you missing the highways and not putting up lessons but you working overtime and you investing in these things, right? Because it tell you, he that hateth not his mother, sister, brother, father, son, etc., cannot be worthy of me and worthy to be my servant, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so it's like not that we don't care about these things, but we can't care about these things, if that makes sense. Like I said, those that have wives be as those that have none, right? Feeding all into all of the extra stuff and everything, and you gotta have your time, man. You gotta, that we're going back to that, man. That time of leisure, right? Having that opportunity, that leisure, man. Okay, let me get the etymology on it. See what we can get. It says free time, time at one's disposal, opportunity to do something, chance, occasion, and opportune time. Also, lack of hurry, you know. And that be like sometimes you have it to where you need to do a lesson real quick, but sometimes you still gotta, what I'm saying, you gotta sup with the Lord. You ain't gonna invite somebody over. You done cook this big old dinner, and as soon as they come in the door, hey, shalom, you sit down, you give them your plate, y'all eat, hey, see you later. Like, no, you sit there and sup with them, and get into conversations, talk about things, enjoy the meal, eat it slow, chew it, let it digest properly, so on and so forth. It's the same with the Lord, man. And just wake up and, I got all this stuff I want to do, so I'm going to hurry up and do this and get that out the way. You can't have that thought. I've had that thought at times, and I've been working on it and getting better at it because it's like, I got to do this and do this and do that. All right, let me read real quick. Like, nah, lack of hurry, man. All right. Giving the Lord his time. You know what I'm saying? Just to like that quality time that you have with your woman, you know? All right. It says permission, spare time, free will, idleness, inactivity. Those are your leisure time. All right. You ain't at work. You got an off day. My goal is at least every day that I'm off, I'm putting up a lesson. And the other days that I'm off, I'm still looking forward to putting up a lesson. Not always 100% at it, but on my days off when I don't gotta go fucking deal with Esau and his system and bullshit. So for the most part, I definitely need to be putting up a lesson that day, cause I ain't got 8 to 10 hours of my day being fucking taken up by this place that I need right now in order to handle my bills for the most part, right? It says opportunity afforded by freedom from necessary occupations, meaning you ain't at work, So when you ain't at work, right, who you got in your face? Your woman, your kids, your dog, your family members, whatever the case is. All right. But you gotta find that time, man. Through the spirit, you gotta find that time. Says the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow and that glorieth in the gold? Yeah, I'm running up this bag, chasing this bag, blah, blah, blah. It ain't all about a fucking bag. That bag ain't gonna be worth nothing pretty soon here. It says that driveth oxen and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks. That's through the spirit. Like I said, being too tied up into your work, man. You know, I want to technically, I want to go crazy and get overtime, but it's like I ain't. It's not. I ain't gonna say it's not worth it, but it's no point in it. If the Lord is he clothed the field and feed the birds, and he's taking care of me and my house, it's no point really to go and get the extra money. You know what I'm saying? If it comes down and I need to and get it. But right now, you know, uh, we have class on Tuesday, so I need to be there. It's needful that I'm there. Hey, like Paul said, I'd rather be in the heavens with YAHAWASHI, but it's needful that I be here, man, because I got a job to do, right? And I believe the Lord will cover me in minds through the Spirit. So do His work, put His work first, man. You know, He already gave me a job. He gave me ability to do the job, and He gave me transportation to get to the job. All right. So just appreciate that and just work the hours that I have. And this is just me personally, you know, but it's a mindset to have because eventually that job shit is going to be out the window, you know. It says, verse 26, he giveth his mind to make furrows, furrows, and is diligent to give the kind fodder, you know, just speaking of laboring, man. So every carpenter and workmaster that laboreth night and day, and they that cut and grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves to counterfeit imagery, and make the finish, make a salaki, and watch to finish a work. The smith also sitting by the anvil and considering the ironwork, the vapor of the fire wasteth his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat of the furnace. Talking about a coppersmith, you know, or a smith. He's creating things using metals, and you gotta heat that metal up so you can forge it. It says the noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ear. Yeah, because you hammering it, you beating it into place. All right, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work and watcheth to polish it perfectly. And that's the thing. You should be doing that, having that towards YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man. I'm not saying you're going to be reading all day, every day, doing a lesson 24 hours a day, you know, but your mind is supposed to be occupied upon prophecies, as we're going to get to. Your mind is supposed to be, the Lord is supposed to be with you at all times, man. You know, when you go to work, you praying before you go to work. When you get to work, somebody pissing you off, and you thinking, okay, if at all possible, be at peace with all men. You know, having a balance of things. All right. It says, so doeth the potter sitting at his work and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully set at his work and maketh all his work by number. He fashioneth the clay with his arm and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and every one is wise in his work. Yeah, you're doing a good job at what you're doing. You know, that's what's up. You want a cookie? All right. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. So their jobs are important. You know, they keep the city going in a sense, keep the foundation strong or whatever. But when it comes down to the spiritual aspects of things, or keeping the morals and ethics going properly, they're not going to be sought after. We'll come get you when we need something built. But when it comes to a judging matter or discernment or wisdom or dark sayings, we don't need you. We don't need you in this presence, in a sense. They cannot declare justice and judgment through the Spirit, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken through the Spirit. Call out YAHAWASHI, man. All right. Why? Because they're too tied up into their job. That's most of these Americans. They constantly talking about chasing the bag. So they don't have time to serve YAHAWASHI, in their opinion. They don't have time. All right. It says, but they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. Right. That's why I wanted to read up until this point, you know. Then we go to 39. But right? If it's starting out with but, you want to read what was before, what came before it. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecy, baby. Right? That's our job, to be occupied in prophecy. Okay? To be looking for it, hastening it, because we understand that that comes with salvation. All right? We understand that that's going to come with freedom and peace and rest once all the prophecies are come to pass. Right? Occupied goes to occupy. Occupied goes to occupy. To take possession of and retain or keep. To take up space or room or time. Employ someone. Occupy a person or place. Hold, seize. Take over, seize. Take into possession, possess, or occupy. Ab meaning over and kapir meaning to grasp or seize. So you taking hold of that, man. You got to take hold of prophecy. And how do you do that? By read, watching, and praying. You know, you're watching to see what's going on in the world, and you're filtering it through the scriptures. Okay, we know that this U.S. and Iran situation is many steps closer to the Third World War. Because just what months ago you didn't have them attacking that country, but through the Spirit you're gonna watch the apostles and on down brothers putting up videos naming the big names that's gonna be in the Third World War, and those are two of them. You know, with China being involved and helping Iran, that's another one. You know, Russia and the U.S. been kind of beefed out the past few months. So all of this is leading up to the Third World War, to the end of days, the end of this world, the end of this age, however you want to put it. Why? Because of prophecy. Okay? It's all because of prophecy, man. All right? Where we at? Where we at? Got Ezekiel 39:1. It says, therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and I will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountain of Israel. And Salakia is supposed to be 38. So I can think about him being a guard unto them. Con. Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord Yahawah came unto me, saying, son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, because that's where the Russians reside at, man. All right, so they're known as Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against it, and say, thus saith the Lord Most High, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will put thee back. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is the Iranians, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmets. Gomer and all of his bands in the house of Targama of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with them. I got to get back into some of these names. But it's showing you that, well, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So it's the Lord, he's letting them know. Y'all gonna go to war. I'm gonna get y'all. He told them to get their shield and their helmets. You know, they handling swords. All right, clothes of armor, bucklers and shields. This is wartime, man. Because of prophecy. Because it was written, it has to come to pass. It's just simple as that. You know? Let me see. Isaiah 14:10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? art thou become like unto us? Why? Because nobody's really scared of America anymore. The Lord had it to where they was the country that did use those atomic bombs. They was feared for a while. They did go about doing what they wanted to do, especially when the internet wasn't as active as it is now or prominent as it is now. When they could hide all their dirty works and they sleight of hands. But the internet catch it be they come up with a plan, go and do it. It's on the internet. Boom, exposed. You know? So with that, ultimately, they're not the only one who has missile capability. They're not the only one with nuclear weapons. And why is it? Because of prophecy. You know? It's because of prophecy, man. All right? Let's see if I can find it. I always get the chapters mixed up, but we gonna go find it. We gonna find it. I got it. I think it's 50. Can't remember if it started out like that. Let me get it right. Blue Letter they don't like correcting you. They know what you be trying to put in. They gonna make you still. Oh, nope. See, it's all good. Go to Google. Is it 50 or 51? 50 and 29. Oh, okay. All right, we here then, baby. Let's go to 50 and 14. 50 and 14. This is Jeremiah 50 and 14. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon, which is America. All right, the land of confusion, known as the daughter of Babylon, the great city, the whore that sitteth upon the dragon. It says, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she had sinned against the Lord Yahawah. And what are those arrows? All right. Oh, okay, I gotta go here. See, if the Lord didn't put the spirit on these apostles, on the apostles and the bishops and the elders, and they was just worried about their work and their labor, these dark sayings wouldn't be out there, man. But the Lord put the spirit on them. He took care of them over the years. He put the spirit on them to read so many books. We have the internet. They had books, you know, laboring, putting in their work so they can teach this word, so they can prophesy unto those dry bones, man. And we was part of those dry bones until the Lord quickened us through the Spirit. All right. About them arrows, it says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 7, it says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, which is those nuclear missiles, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightning, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Right? I'm going to jump down to 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, because they have, how do you put it? Like a navigational system within them. It's not like they're going to press that button and it's going to accidentally go to a different country. No, it's going to go towards its target. It is not going to miss. Okay, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth, because they're going to go up into the atmosphere and then they're going to come back down through the atmosphere and hit their target. All right, those is what those arrows are talking about. And that's all by prophecy, man. You know? So you have it to where all of these, they looking up these verses, that's cool, but you can't forget about prophecy ultimately, you know, because when you're dealing with prophecy and salvation, all of this is in between of that, you know, for the most part. All of that is in between that, all right? Salvation, of course, is at the end of it. So Doing these things will help you get towards salvation and serve the Lord, but you still got to be occupied in prophecy. You got to attend upon the Lord without distractions. You got to seek your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right. And I cannot think of the other one, man. Seek your own salvation with fear. Oh, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Because I can't save you. I can't force this truth on you. It's all according to the Lord. We can plant and we can water, but it's YAHAWASHI that gives the increase. Just as he did in ancient times when he would make it not rain in certain places and they wouldn't yield any crop. That's the Lord giving that increase when he allows it to rain, man. All right. Or sometimes it could rain, but every seed that gets planted, it doesn't grow, Every seed that get planted, well, you got the parable about the seed. Some fell by the wayside and etc. So every seed that get planted or that fall upon the ground, it doesn't grow. Okay, it's up to YAHAWASHI to give that increase, man. So, Lord willing, you was edified, and Lord willing, we're allowed to endure to the end. I'm definitely through the Spirit, Lord willing, going to be getting into some of these precepts and just, getting some lessons off of them. Matter of fact, Elder Artaza one might mention that years back. If you ain't got a lesson, you need to get one off. Go to the Bible verses. Go to the topics. You're gonna get some lessons. You're gonna get some precepts together. So yeah, man, I'll probably do this one next to the Spirit, Lord willing, later on. Grab some verses out of here about salvation. Because salvation is definitely important. But before we get that, there has to be destruction, man. There has to be chaos. There has to be judgment before salvation comes. Salvation is a part of the judgment for some. Oh, I didn't even get to the article. So yep. I'll just show the article real quick. But Lord willing, I'll probably bring this out later. But it says 1 in 3 Americans believe we are now living in the end times, and we are. But guess what? Years ago, they wasn't trying to say that and hear that and think about that. But now, the Lord is showing his hand. All right? And now we getting to the point where ain't no denying it. Because one of the beautiful things is this. It says between 29 and 39% of Americans believe that they are currently living in the end times. Right? That it is not a fringe position held by a handful of doomsday cults. I thought but it was a part in here. It was speaking about they pretty much thinking that it would happen in their lifetime, because a lot of people talk about the second coming, but don't be expecting it to happen in their lifetime. Shoot, I pray it do. I pray I see it, man. Really. All right. But with that, Lord willing, to edify, and Lord willing, we're allowed to endure to the end once again. And once again, I also want to give honor, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, as well as double honors unto the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom.